preparing for a matchup where we'll get a chance to show what we're all about. And so, Coach Shiano he's a good friend of mine, and I have a lot of respect for him. He's an outstanding football coach, a great man, and he's a proven winner. And so, I'm really happy to see him back in the Big Ten, and so just shout out to Greg. I know that he's worked really hard in preparing his team. So it's going to be an exciting time on Saturday. So with that, I'll open it up for questions. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Coach. We'll get things started with Matt Charbonneau with the Detroit News.
Hey, Mal, I think the question a lot of people are wondering at this point, and I don't know if you have an answer yet, but have you guys made a choice on the starting quarterback for the opener at least?
Yeah, Matt, thanks for that question. We won't be announcing the quarterback today. There's been fierce competition at so many positions, including quarterback, and so as this week unfolds and the game plan is installed, we'll make a decision and then we'll go play.
Is that something, real quick follow-up, where you could see, since a choice hasn't been made, that you could be playing multiple guys in the opener or even into a week or two, I think, as Jay Johnson mentioned, as a possibility?
Yeah, well, we're gonna play who gives us the best chance to win, and so we'll just have to see how this week unfolds. And obviously, the guys that we have are very capable, and so we're very fortunate to have multiple quarterbacks that we feel like can get the job done.
Thanks, Mel.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
Next question is from Lindsey Huddleston.
Hey, Mel, congratulations on this first game coming up. On your social media feed, you talk about eliminating hand smackers, something as subtle as smacking one's hand after a play. How important is that to the new culture at Michigan State with this game coming up on Saturday?
Yeah, that's just part of our process, and we're very process driven, and it's your mental disposition towards competing and demeanor and body language and semantic responsibility is all part of the process. And so our philosophy is that you just go on to the next play, regardless of if the previous play was good or bad. You learn from it. You take the information that you got from that play, and then you move on to the next play quickly. We're not going to get too high. We're not going to get too low. We're going to treat every play as though it has a history and a life of its own, not looking at the scoreboard and continue to play the next play.
Have your players been transitioning, doing that pretty well, or is that a challenge within itself?
Our players have really bought into that concept and that philosophy, and it really makes a lot of sense. And if, as a player or a coach, control what you can control. And the most important play is the next play, and they understand that.
Right. Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome, Lindsey. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Next question is from Justin Rose with WXYZ.
Morning, Coach. For the last 13 years, people on this Zoom call and fans in this area have seen a particular brand of football. Now that is not led by the same guy anymore. What can people expect? We don't feel like we don't know. We haven't seen you guys out on the field. We haven't been able to come to practice. We haven't been able to share that out. What is your football team going to look like on Saturday?
Yeah, and brand of football is very important, and our fans they expect a certain standard of play, and that's tough, physical, discipline, sense of urgency, attention to detail, very unselfish, guys that are playing for each other, relentless competitors, and playing complementary football. Offense, defense, and special teams working together. We'll all be pulling in the same direction, playing for this great university and all of our fans. We're just very excited for this opportunity.
And if I could do a quick follow-up, the offense more specifically, what is it going to look like as far as if you had to give somebody a quick synopsis of what your offense is going to look like? Are you guys to spread them out and throw it? Or are you line it up and run it down the middle? What can we expect to see?
Yeah, we want to be able to run the ball on our terms, which means when we want to run it, we can. And when we have to run it, and everyone in the stadium and everyone on TV knows that we need to run the ball, we can do that too. We want to be able to protect the quarterback. make sure that he has a clean pocket, and he can deliver the ball efficiently and accurately. We want to be versed in all the special situations, red zone, short yardage, goal line, 2 minutes before the half, 2 minutes before the game, third down, and be very efficient. We want to be explosive on offense in the run game and the pass game and be able to get chunks and take care of the football. And the biggest determining factor in winning and losing football games is the turnover margin. So it's all about the ball. The ball. Take care of the football, and on defense, we're going to try to take it away. And so, those are the characteristics that we focus on offensively, and our players have bought into that, and we preach those things every day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next question is from Matt Wenzel with MLive.
Hey, Mel. I was wondering, you still got the rest of the week to go, but are there any guys won't be available to play on Saturday based on positive COVID-19 results?
Yeah, we have released those results, weekly, for a number of months now, and so, as of right now, we're working with the guys that we have, and as the week unfolds, we'll determine who will be the guys that are going to dress and be available to us to play, but I feel good about the group of guys that we have.
Again, to follow up, obviously with the weird situation, have you guys done anything to prepare your players for playing real games when there's really no fans and just kind of the unique environment that's going to be? And I was wondering if there's any steps you've taken in kind of getting guys ready for that.
Yeah, we have. We've gone in our stadium and scrimmaged twice. We've also gone into our stadium and had a mock game. We've used noise at the levels at which the Big Ten is going to allow, and we've also played music at the levels at which we think it will be in the stadium. Just talking to some of my colleagues around the country that have already played games in similar settings, they say that it is different, and so we've tried to create that atmosphere for our players. It's just like playing the game. In practice, you want the practices to be as close to the game, the game realities as possible, and so we've done that with noise, and it's going to be very important for us on our sideline to generate and produce our own energy, our own excitement, our own intensity with the group that we have with our players and coaches on the sideline.
Thank you.
Next question is from Stephen Brooks with 24/7 Sports.
Hey, Mel. I hope you're doing well. I want to ask you about the preparation for this game, obviously facing another brand new staff. What goes into that, and how much is it sort of a split of, obviously, last year's Rutgers film, but also maybe things that Greg and some of his coaches have done in the past? How complex or unique is it to prep for the first game against a brand new staff like this?
Yeah, you know what? That's a great question. And when you go into the first game of the season, you're expecting some unscouted looks. You're not quite sure exactly what you're going to see. We told our players yesterday that this is going to be a rules game where offense, defense, and special teams, you're going to have to apply your rule to what you see on the field. And then we'll have to be able to adapt and adjust during the game, in between plays, in between series. But we've done scouting reports on not just the players, but also the coaching staff and the coordinators. We know where they have been and what they've done. And so we've studied film from those those places and so, but obviously we'll have to see on Saturday how what they come out and what they do is just going to be important for us to play our brand of football. It's going to be a lot about what we do and how we execute our plan, how hard we play, the technique and fundamentals, how smart we play, how fast we play, how physical we play. That's going to be the determining factors on what type of success we have on Saturday.
Thank you.
Next question will go out to Wojo, the Detroit News.
Mel, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, thank you. obviously you got a slow start getting to know your team and everything else and installing your system. Now, as the season gets ready to start, is there anything you know for sure about your team? Like, I definitely know this will work. I know this unit is good. Is there anything you know for sure about your team right now?
That's a great question. I know that our guys love to play football. I can tell by the way they behave, and behavior has a lot to do with the results that you get. And our behavior on a day-to-day basis has been outstanding. The guys have bought in to our shift in culture, and we have been able to connect with our players, and they know that we're process-driven, and they've bought into that process. I know they love the game. I know they're going to play hard. I know it's important to them, and I know they're going to play together. They're going to play for each other. And that's what football is all about. Football is a great game. It's the ultimate team sport. And these guys love being around each other. They love being around our coaches. And they're just really looking forward to today's preparation and the process that we have and getting ready for this game. And then ultimately, being able to display a brand of football that we can all be proud of on Saturday.
Just a quick follow-up. You mentioned embrace the shift in culture. What do you think that entails, shift in culture? Obviously, someone was here for a long time, Mark D'Antonio, 13 years, and new guy. What does that entail, would you say?
Yeah, culture is pretty much how you live day to day, the things that you do on a consistent basis. And so, we have a new coaching staff, and we have a different way of doing some things. And that's part of the culture. How do you live? How do you do what you do? Why do you do it that way? And making sure that everyone understands that and understands why it's important. And so our players have embraced that. And obviously that's always going to be a challenge. Changes can be uncomfortable. But we told our players that they have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And so we've done that, and our players have embraced us. We've embraced them. We've connected with our players. We feel very good about our process, and our culture is developing. And I feel really good about the shift that we made in terms of our culture.
Next question is from Jack Ebling.
Yeah, Mel, wanted to check on captains and leadership and where you are with that process. We've seen some Big Ten schools have as many as 7 guys named.
Yeah, Jack, thanks for that question. We're going to have game captains, and so my coaching staff and myself will pick those captains weekly, and then we'll announce them to the team. And then at the end of the season, we will the players will vote on captains, and then those will be the permanent captains for this particular season. That's how we'll handle the captain situation.
Next question is from Chris Solar of the Detroit Free Press.
Mel, good to see you. I guess first of all, what's your philosophy on depth charts, and do you believe that will you be releasing one this week?
At this point, I don't anticipate releasing a depth chart anytime early in this week. This is a unique year. As you know, things change daily, and so the emphasis has been with our coaching staff is to develop every player on our roster, and in anticipation of needing everyone at some point in time to be ready to play. And so, our depth chart is more of a rep chart. This is who is going to take the reps first or second, and then not so much a depth chart that's set in stone. And so we're trying to develop as many players as we can. A coach's job is to teach, motivate, and develop. And every player on our roster is getting coached hard with attention to detail and a sense of urgency in anticipation of that player ultimately being on the field and playing winning football for us.
As a follow to that, from a schematic standpoint, this is kind of a coach's dream because there's no game film, there's no real idea of just exactly how you're going to use each personnel differently. I mean, is that part of that as well? I mean, how much of this is maybe the one benefit of not having a spring ball or anything else in the last few months?
You know, it really comes down to. I mean, football is fundamentally a simple game. It's we have to be best conditioned. We have to put a premium on technique and fundamentals. We have to play smart. We don't beat ourselves. We have to play fast. Players play fastest when they know what to do and how to do it and know why it's important to do it that way. And then the football is a collision sport. We have to be physical. And so regardless of scheme, offense, defense, and special teams, and, whether it's the first game, you got new coaching staff, those are the things that determine what type of success that you have on game day. And so that's where our focus has been.
Thanks, Mel.
You got it.
Next question is from Audrey Dahlgren with WLNS.
Well, we're having a great day. I just wanted to, I know you've said over time that you're pretty even keeled guy. You mentioned that to us. But what is it going to be maybe come Saturday? What kind of emotions are you going to experience as you step out onto the field? I know there might be a little bit more of adrenaline that goes with it. And also, will it re-spark any memories from when you were here last time as a graduate assistant?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I can't help but to smile because this is a dream come true for me to be able to represent this great university and our Spartan Nation as the head football coach. And so I'm really looking forward to it. My demeanor on game day is very similar to what our players, see, every day from me. It's important for me to be consistent. We work with a sense of urgency. We're passionate about what we do. And we love the game. And so, my demeanor will reflect that. Obviously I believe in neutral thinking, not to get too high, not to get too low, and just really, take the game, one play at a time and take in the information as it comes. And that determines what we need to do next. And so, but, going to Spartan, playing in Spartan Stadium, coaching in Spartan Stadium is special. And I do remember the feeling of, as a graduate assistant, coaching in that stadium. And it's something that I've always cherished, and I'm really can't wait to get back out there.
Thank you.
Next question is from Noah Trister with the AP.
Yeah, Coach. How much different does this feel going straight into conference play for the first game?
It's a great opportunity for us. I've never really got caught up into too much into scheduling. Who you play and when you play them. I was raised, as a football guy, and I was always taught, when they put the ball down, it's not the ball's time to play, regardless of when or where, and so we're preparing our players, that way. This situation this year has been a challenge. It's been unusual. It's been unprecedented. But at the end of the day, we're going to have our opportunity to go out there and play. And that's what we all want to do. And so I'm just looking forward to kickoff. We've got a few days left to prepare. And so, we're going to focus on our process, taking it one day at a time, and then we'll let Saturday take care of itself.
Next question is from Rico Cooney with Spartan Magazine.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Rico. Thank you.
Talk a little bit about the proclamation of you saying, if you're not going to be physical, you're not going to get on the field. And Coach Hawk had on Twitter said non-negotiable. In making that proclamation, was that something that you came up with after watching some padded practices and some scrimmages, or was that part of the overall general culture that you want to inject into Michigan State football?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's part of who we are and who we need to be. Michigan State football is physical football. It's representative of our university, of our great fans and all our alumni and our players that have played here in the past. It's always about tough, physical, hard-nosed, fundamentally sound, great pad level, flat backs with good hat speed, getting after it, playing through the echo of the whistle and playing for 4 quarters, 60 minutes in a game as hard as you possibly can, playing for the guy next to you, being relentless, and moving people, against their will on the field and winning the line of scrimmage, offensive line and defensive line, and just always, being physical. And the name of the game is hit, and that's never going to change. And so, being physical and playing tough, hard-nosed football, that's not a new concept for me, and it's not a new concept for Michigan State.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
We have time for a few more. I'm going to try to get to everybody here for their first question. We're going to go to Jim Comparoni with Spartan Magazine.
Hey, Mel, how has the offensive line come along without Jordan Reed at right tackle? And can you discuss the competition going on inside at the offensive guard positions?
Yeah, Coach Kapilovic has done an outstanding job with our offensive line. He's one of the great coaching minds in this profession, one of the great offensive line coaches, and the best or one of the best offensive line coaches that I've ever been around. And so, and he sees the game the same way that I see the game. It's it's about being physical. It's about playing with great technique and fundamentals. Having a mental disposition of moving people against their will and understanding that you have to win a line of scrimmage. And so we've had competition, at the tackle spot. We had competition inside, and we're developing depth because we're going to need as many guys ready to play as possible. But I feel really good about our preparation. I feel great about what Coach Cap has done with those guys, and I've seen steady improvement from that unit. And I'm just looking forward to a great week of practice and preparation. From that group and the entire team. We have to get better each and every day, and we have to use these practice opportunities and these meeting opportunities. We have to be efficient, and we have to make the most of every minute of every day that we get a chance to prepare, whether it's in the meeting room, and on the field, rest and recovery. We've got to work to get better, and that's our attitude, that's our culture in the offensive line and across this team.
All right, and one follow-up quickly, please, if I may. Rocky Lombardi, in what ways have you seen him improve compared to last year's film or maybe early on in practice? And what have Peyton Thorne and Theo Day done well to challenge him in that competition?
Those guys are – it's a really good group of guys. And Noah Kim has done a nice job for us. He's got a lot of talent. And Jay Johnson is a veteran offensive coordinator, a veteran play caller, a veteran quarterbacks coach, played the position himself. And just for Rocky, Peyton, Theo, and Noah, those guys, the most important thing was really to connect with Jay and understand his process, understand, how he sees that position being played, and then learning the scheme. And so that's where those guys have grown. They've connected with Jay. They have a lot of respect for Jay. Jay has a lot of respect for them. They work well as a unit. They help each other. And I've seen a steady improvement from that group. And so That's what you want to see at that position. You want to see guys that are team guys, that have leadership ability, that are not afraid to take charge. And I've seen that in all of those guys. And I believe that your quarterback has to be your number one competitor on your team, college or pro. And so we have the competitive nature and the mental disposition in that room to be able to get the job done. So I feel really good about what Jay has done and what he's going to continue to do and how those guys are going to continue to develop under him.
Next question is from South Wales at WILX.
Hey, Mel, kind of a two-parted question here. They're very similar. Is there still a home field advantage without the fans? And to go along with that, how do you make sure that your guys are creating their own energy on the sidelines without that noise coming from the 70,000 fans that are normally inside Spartan Stadium?
Yeah, Spartan Stadium is special. And even though we won't have our fans in the stadium, certainly their passion and their energy and their desire and their pride in this football team and this university, we're going to feel that on Saturday. When we step on that field, we're going to feel our fans. We're going to feel that pride. We're going to feel that energy. And what we're going to do is, we're going to take we're going to take it from the practice field, to the game field. We have tremendous energy in our practices. We generate our own momentum, and everyone is into it. Everyone's up and ready to go. Chin straps buckled, mouthpieces in, on the ready. When these guys' numbers are called, they go in and they give it everything they've got, 100% every time. And so, and if they don't, it's our job to coach them through that and get the best out of them. And so that's what we're gonna take into the stadium. Just take it from the practice and take it right to the game.
We got time for two more. We'll go to Chris Solar, the Detroit Free Press. We'll wrap it up with Matt Charbonneau, the Detroit News. Chris?
Mel, I kind of wanted to touch base with you on the defensive side a little bit. First of all, do you have an idea of where you want to go at middle linebacker? And as kind of a follow with that, can you maybe address the situation with Luke and Charles?
Yeah, we released a statement about Luke and Charles. They've been suspended from the team. We acted quickly and decisively about that. We have multiple guys at the linebacker position that can play for us, and so we're trying to get as many guys ready to play as we can. And so, and they all know that. We have multiple guys taking reps. We have guys that can play multiple positions, multiple linebacker positions. We feel like it's a group that is ready to lead and can make the calls and get lined up and run and hit and make plays. And so it's a really good group to be around. They're fun to coach, and I'm looking forward to seeing how these guys progress and seeing how they improve this week. And then we'll take it to Saturday.
Last question is from Matt Charbonneau, the Detroit News.
Hey, Mel, as you go through this, feels like everyone has mentors and people that have meant a lot to them throughout their careers. Is this a sort of week or do you reflect for a second before that first game about those people that have meant a lot to you to get you to this point? And do you expect to hear from a lot of those folks like, hey, good luck on that first game, that sort of thing? Will that happen this week, you think?
That's it's interesting you brought that up. This is the time of year when the time of the season when you start to get those text messages from your colleagues and friends and family, wishing you, all the best for the first game and wishing you all the best for the season. And so those texts and voicemails have started to roll in. But I reflect on, my mentors and people that have had a positive impact on my life on a daily basis. It's those are blessings to me, and you know, I think about those people that have been special in my life and have helped me get to where I am today. I haven't gotten here, you know, on my own. I've gotten a lot of help along the way. I've learned from some great coaches and some great people that are not in the profession that have helped me. And so, you know, I like to count my blessings every day and reflect on those folks and really, you know, I'm just very thankful for everyone, starting with my parents that have poured into me my entire life and to help me get to this point. My family has supported me, and so it's a daily reflection and appreciation for the help and that I have received, and I'm very humbled by that.
Thanks, Mel.
That's all the time we have, Coach. I know you have a busy schedule. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you Saturday in Spartan Stadium.
Okay, thanks, Ben. Thank you so much for coming on. And again, we can't do what we do without you. And I appreciate you helping to get our message out and to our fans and our supporters. And we'll see you guys on Saturday.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Mel.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.